This week on SportsFeed KC from the Kansas City Star. When Arrowhead Stadium was brand new, breaking barriers with flag football, bowling in the basement, and just the place for a spooky race. The feed is next.
Hi, I'm Randy Mason, and this is SportsFeed KC, your weekly sports video digital digest. Where are we? 22nd and Brooklyn, where a lot of the city's most notable sports history happened. Hard to believe, but this is where the old Municipal Stadium sat. More about that later, but we begin with a place everybody knows now, Arrowhead Stadium. It turns 50 this fall, and the Star is publishing a special edition dedicated to it. Everything from the original plans to the most memorable games played in it and other things that happened there, like concerts and a wedding. Producer Monty Davis has zeroed in on the way that the world's loudest stadium took shape. He's found some great old photos. Take a look. Anytime someone starts off with, "When I was young," beware. But when I was young, I would have never predicted that flag football would be part of the Olympics. It is now under serious consideration for inclusion in 2028. Here's a look at how flag football is being played by different demographics around Kansas City.
Who are we? Who are we?
Here in the last probably 4 or 5 years, flag has really exploded. 7 kids on a team, everyone gets a chance to run, catch, throw, versus tackle, you kind of get pigeonholed into certain positions. So I think that's the biggest difference, and you get more skill development earlier.
This is the second season of flag football for Corey's son Christian and his fellow first and second graders. He thinks flag's rapid growth in this age group has been driven by several factors: COVID, concern about concussions, and what he calls the Mahomes effect, the appeal of fast-paced play.
You can score a lot of points, and that's what sells, and that's what makes moms and granddads happy.
How about old school football players?
It took a little while, but I think everyone's starting to come around and see that there is a benefit just from a skill perspective. And even, we're first, second graders, we shouldn't be hitting each other this early in their stages of development right now anyway.
For KC Metro League flag football players, Sundays mean action on 4 fields at once, with at least a couple of games for everyone. According to the league's commissioner, new teams sign up every session, and a lot of them mean business.
It's the league. It's competitive, and when it comes to being a GM/captain in the league, it gets down and dirty. It's just like the NFL with the free agency, so players reach out. It really gets busy in the offseason.
Besides those flags, the main differences between this and tackle are 3 downs instead of 4, a time limit for passers, and considerably smaller fields to zoom around on.
So it's a agile game. It's for the speed guys, but the big guys, they can get busy too. You see them dipping and all that, so it's a sight to see it.
But make no mistake, injuries are part of the game, especially in the top division where things can get pretty intense.
It's football, so I mean, you might even lose a tooth if you don't have the mouthpiece.
And now, taking the field, your Oak Park Lady Okies.
A few Saturdays back, history was made in Northtown. The Oak Park High School girls flag football team played an exhibition with Team Mexico. Earlier this summer, they'd taken part in a pilot program with 3 other North Kansas City schools. Like the girls play flag football program, it was aided by the Chiefs and energized by the success of Ottawa University, back-to-back NAIA champions in the sport's first 2 years of existence.
I was a part of Ottawa University, helping coach and start the program, and we had to go to Florida and Vegas and across the country to recruit girls where the sport was already sanctioned. And now we're trying to bring that into our hometown, give our girls that are local scholarships that are readily available for them.
The afternoon ended with an on-field combine, where aspiring flaggers could showcase their skills for college coaches from around the area.
I can play catch with someone and know if you've got soft hands. If you can make a jab step in basketball, fadeaway jumper, I can teach you to run a route. This is a game that's exciting. It's a passing game, and there's a lot of skill involved, which makes people want to watch it.
That was the idea behind the pilot, is for us to create a buzz, and I think our district did a great job. All 4 high schools were involved, so the ability to create some momentum and see where it goes.
40% of the NFL fan base is female. So these girls are growing up watching the same sport as their brother with their family, watching their brothers play the sport, and just aren't given the opportunity to play it. And my goal is to get those opportunities, so if your brother's playing, you can play.
Before Arrowhead opened in the fall of 1972, the Chiefs played their games here. The A's stuck around till 1967, the Royals played a couple of seasons, and the Monarchs used it for decades. Arthur Bryant's was just down the street, and lots of people picked up barbecue on their way to the ballpark. And people parked in yards all over the neighborhood. Did I mention the Beatles played here? It wasn't long after the sports complex opened that the wrecking ball leveled just about everything here. For a while there was a community garden on the site, and finally now homes sit where home plate once was. It still gives me a chill. Speaking of chills and historic things, Elmwood Cemetery on Truman Road will be hosting their Graveyard 5K run on Saturday the 29th. Elmwood is where a lot of famous Kansas Cityans are buried, and the run takes place entirely on its 43-acre grounds. You're looking at a segment from the Star's Zip by Zip series, which gives aerial views of cool things in the Metro's many zip codes. Elmwood is 64127 if you're keeping score.
And speaking of things that have lasted a long time, the St. John Catholic Club in the historic Croatian neighborhood on Strawberry Hill in Kansas City, Kansas turns 100 this week. Why is the feed featuring a church rec hall? Well, this excerpt from Tammy Ljungblad's video about it should quickly explain.
Historically, when you graduated from 8th grade, you were 14 years old, and when you graduated, you came in here and you got sworn in by Monsignor Horvat, who was our parish priest at the time, and you were a member as of your 14th birthday. So that's how a lot of us became members and just kept that membership going through the years. We have a bowling alley, we have a club room with a full grill and a bar area. We have leagues that we currently have leagues Monday through Thursday evenings, and we currently have rentals that are available. You could rent the facility differing times on weekends and during the day, during the week, and we try to accommodate whoever wants to come in and just have a good time. We do have a women's auxiliary. Because our charter was written in such a way that it is, quote, a men's organization, we now have we've kind of realized that we just can't do it alone. So we have a women's auxiliary that we started 3 years ago. They get involved in our planning of events, they get involved in the execution of our events, and they're with us essentially when we're doing the heavy lifting, the hard work. They put that touch on it that we as men would not put on it. My understanding is now we are the oldest ethnic Croatian parish in the United States.
You can see Tammy's entire video at kansascity.com. Next week on SportsFeed KC, the season is almost here. We'll tip it off at the College Basketball Experience. For the Kansas City Star, I'm Randy Mason. See you on the court.